Welcome to episode 268 of Real Therapy, the place where we talk about how movies make us feel. I'm your host, Donavon Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
And today we're discussing Marvel Studios' newest Disney Plus television show, a special presentation called Wonder Man. This is Real Therapy, and you know what that means.
They're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, cause it's Dan and Don in Real Therapy. It's real.
Hello, Mr. Wingfield. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Mr. Thompson. How about yourself?
Yeah, I like that. I'm doing okay. Been getting over sickness, lots of job stuff, and all the other things, and so I'm excited to talk to you about Wonder Man, and of course a couple other small ancillary topics I want to get to, like maybe Green Lantern, and then also some of the Xbox news. But sorry,
I was thinking
lanterns, not green.
Yeah,
lantern.
yeah. But I was just thinking of our introductions. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't gotten our doctorates yet, but we have a master. So should it be Master Thompson and Master Wingfield?
You're right.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't. Why would you get a doctorate if you've already got a master's? Because it sounds way better.
It does sound way better.
Master Thompson, Master Wingfield.
I'm a master of versus I'm a doctor of.
Yeah, master. I have probably innate inherited power and wealth. You know, a doctor had to work for it.
Exactly. I agree.
Plebeian.
Yeah. Master sounds like you have multiple belts also.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and degrees of belts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. So going forth, Master Thompson or Master D will work. Either one. That will happen.
I mean, that could work for both of us, I guess.
I guess it would. The Master D's.
Master D's.
It sounds too much like masturbation.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, hey,
moving on.
This is episode 268, I believe, if my numbers are correct. And we're talking Wonder Man. And so this is one that, again, we've just been so busy where we're just not hitting it every week like we want to. But I'm really happy we're back. This will be a shorter episode compared to some others, just because again we're super busy. But I'm excited to talk to you about Wonder Man. I know I watched all of it within about 2 days.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was right when it came out. I think it was 6 episodes or 8 episodes. Do you remember?
I believe
8. Okay. Yeah. And so, just my top level thoughts is, I didn't have much anticipation for this, mainly because just it's a TV show that's not really about being a superhero, and I'm watching something in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so I want superhero stuff, and it kind of felt like it was a TV show that wasn't going to be connected to anything or give me anything that was going to be fruitful later. I do love, what's his name? Abdul Mateen II. He's obviously, he was, I can't think of his name, but the blue guy in Watchmen for the HBO show, Damon Lindelof.
Oh, okay.
He was him. He was also, not Mantis. It was the bad guy. Not Ocean Master. It was the bad guy in Black Manta in Aquaman 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
So he was that as well. So anyway, even besides those, he's just a great actor. And so we had that. We had Ben Kingsley coming back as Trevor Slattery, famous from Iron Man 3, the shorts, and of course Shang-Chi, and Destin Daniel Cretton, who is the director of Shang-Chi and now Spider-Man Brand New Day. And he was coming in as like a showrunner, writer, kind of director, kind of a little bit of everything to kind of shepherd this along. So all that being said, I wasn't super excited about it. I like the creative people involved in it, but I will say, having watched it, it's one of my favorite Disney Plus Marvel shows, because it's not so connected, because it's not setting up so much expectation that I know will, at the moment, probably be trampled on or not lived up to expectations later, like some of these other things have done. So because it's contained, because it's just good chemistry, and obviously it's when you make a show kind of like this studio we've talked about recently, or other things like that are really referencing making movies and the meta-ness of that, obviously filmmakers, I think, gravitate towards that more so than others. And so I just love that kind of stuff. So anyway, I had a great time with it. I'm excited to kind of get into more of the nitty-gritty. But what was your overall experience with it?
Yeah, really liked it. Definitely a surprise. The teaser trailer that came out a little while ago piqued interest. The tone of it definitely seemed taking itself less seriously, which I think Marvel needs some more of in their storytelling. And yeah, it was great. My wife and I watched it, a couple episodes a night for about a week, and the chemistry was great between the characters. The acting was fantastic. Just the way they dug into each character's backstory. And again, it was all just kind of small stakes of like, can this guy keep his role, his dream role in a movie, or will he get found out that he has powers, or, all these things. And so, yeah, I mean, I think they, I think it's a Roger Ebert, the famous, film critic. His big thing was always just judging movies, and I guess just movies, by what they intended to do, and like did they do what they intended to do versus like did it become something more. And to me, this is a show that absolutely 100% nailed exactly what it wanted to be. So much of the show, like by the end of it, Catherine and I were like, dang, we want more of these two characters, like necessarily. And we ended up watching Fantastic Four because she still hadn't seen it, just to kind of stay in the
universe. Very cool.
But I will say, not as good as Wonder Man. Fantastic Four. I mean, it's a movie and it's big, but it also, like, so much of it, I was just like, man, we have really seen this story before. Like this, it felt like more of the same that we've gotten from Marvel for 20 years versus Wonder Man that was like fresh and felt good and felt like I had time to get to know the characters. And anyway, so it was a good thing because it made me want to consume more MCU, which it's been a while since I felt that way. And I still enjoyed Fantastic Four, and it does make me excited. It gives me more anticipation for what's next, whatever it is. That's positive.
You like Thunderbolts more than F4, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
We watched Thunderbolts together, right?
Yeah. I mean, I liked Thunderbolts. I think it also was a little clunky.
The loudest movie I've ever seen.
Was that the one where I was like stuffing tissue paper in my ears?
Yeah, it actually was. Yes, I've never seen someone take that approach before in a movie theater.
It worked great. I mean, it was like
at first I was kind of like, "No, you're wrong," and then it just kind of kept getting louder, and I left. I left to go tell them because I'd already seen it, and I wanted you to have a good experience. So
I've done that a few times. Like I do think part of it is because I produce music, and sometimes I like listen to things too loud, and so my ears are probably just more sensitive. And I grew up playing a lot of live music, and so I probably fucked my eardrums pretty early. So it may just be a me thing, but yeah, no, I do remember that. Between them two, I mean, I almost kind of put them evenly in that, like, they both have some good things going on, but they're both kind of clunky in some key areas too, and that like they're both good but not great. You know what I mean? I'd even put Superman there, but I think I still enjoy Superman better than both of those. It's still
Superman.
Such an interesting...
Yeah, Superman has some good moments in there.
It may be clunkier, but it may be more fun than both of them. Like
Superman
it may be more
so much
enjoyable
more clunkier than both those films. But yes, it is probably more enjoyable.
It's trying to do more things differently, and that just makes it more interesting, I think.
Yeah, just on the nature of its humor. It's got some, even though it doesn't always land, like everything James Gunn, there's some really good moments in there. Even just like them whacking that interdimensional imp, while Superman's talking to Lois. But yeah, I was curious. Fantastic Four is kind of like this. It's like it does so many things really, really well. Yeah. But it just doesn't, for some reason, break beyond the veil of that. I
think personally it's because
I do love the birth scene. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
That's what really sticks with me anyway.
The chemistry of the family. The best moments of that movie are when they're not talking about the plot. When they're just like at dinner or kind of going back and forth. Like those are they had good chemistry. I honestly feel like that movie just didn't give us enough time to get to know the characters, and I think they probably did that because they're like, it's the Fantastic Four, everybody knows the Fantastic Four, we don't need to, you know what I mean? And so I feel like it's almost a thing of like, I love all the castings, I love all the characters, I just don't feel like I know them beyond their caricature that I've always known about them.
Yeah, I think their performances were, and this is not their fault, they're all amazing actors, all of them. I think it was all very muted. It's like all the characterization of those characters was really brought down to I don't know. It's really interesting. But anyway,
What's-
this is a Wonder Man podcast.
Is it though? I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and this is where theirs was muted. You really feel like, you want to hang out with Trevor and Simon more.
Yes.
And like I guess every time I think about Ben Kingsley as his character, the way he says like Wonder Man, how he says it,
So great.
I love it. Like the way he does that character. Obviously, we had was it Joe Pantaleone in there,
and Succession.
No, well, maybe the guy
Agent?
the guy from Bad Boys. The guy he's the actor. He's like Trevor's like nemesis actor guy in the show.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah,
Joe
he's in
Pantaleone.
Sopranos. He's like that's it. He's
Sure,
giant
Sopranos.
in
I know him
Sopranos.
from The Matrix. I know him from
Yeah,
Bad
of course.
Boys,
Right,
the
yes,
Bad Boys
yes.
franchise. But yes, and I've always loved him
That
as
was
an actor.
hilarious. The whole
anyway,
arc with him, it was amazing.
It's great, and so I think just seeing we can talk more about plot here in a second, but just staying on the characters for one more minute. They're just people I just want to hang out with, and their bromance is so fun, and just the mentor-mentee, mentor-mentoree relationship is just I'm gonna be really disappointed if we don't get a season 2, especially where this one ended.
Yeah,
and I want to talk about that end also, but yeah, I mean, going just from the beginning, I really like the journey they're on. I was going to ask you, how did you feel about because I feel like every TV show has to do this now. We talk about this every time we talk about a TV show. How did you feel about the episode where it's about, what's his catchphrase? Glock or something? I don't know what it was. It was something crazy.
I can't remember. Yeah, no, I like that actually. I mean, I think, those episodes have to be done carefully. It almost felt like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean? And like and I think it kind of had that tone this whole time that you knew something twisted was going, it's like something bad was going to happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that in the MCU, Josh Gad is nowhere. No one knows where Josh Gad is. I think that's amazing. Him doing the Frozen song at the club and like saying bitches with it and stuff was amazing. It was like one of those things like, okay, here's one of the advantages of Disney owning both Frozen and the MCU is that they can make fun of their own properties and no one can get mad at them. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
It was like, I was like, man, he's known as Olaf, so like they're willing to kind of do that with his character. That shows some, more gutsy use of their IP than I'm used to them being, with it, especially a children's IP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The filmmaking was always good. I thought the actor that played the guy was really good.
Very interesting performance. You know what I mean? Like, just in terms of, he's like this really...
Yeah.
You really feel like that guy is not an actor. You know what I'm saying?
No. And I think it actually kind of felt, in those ways, it felt real to life in terms of like, certain people get these little 15 minutes of fame, and it may be because this random thing happens, and that it can actually ruin their lives because they suddenly feel like they need or deserve or can get this higher standard of living or popularity. And then when like you realize that like they rose to fame less because of their talent and more because of circumstances. I mean, like, I think of the Hawk Tuah girl as a great example of that, like in real life, right?
Whoa, Daniel.
Sorry, I just mean like, you have these people that are on this path and that seem pretty content and happy and like to go where they're going, and then they get these 15 minutes of fame and they're like, oh, now I'm
an influencer.
Or a movie star. I'm a celebrity, and I get to have that kind of life. And then when like it's short lived because they actually didn't have much to say or do or show, it kind of like they're left with now the rest of their life where they feel like they've, even if they go back to what they thought they wanted, it'll feel like less, right?
Yeah.
And I think I like that because I think
I forgot about the Hawk Tuah girl.
Right. I mean, she's a perfect example.
It's amazing. It's an amazing example. Yeah,
it's exactly what happened there. Of like,
situation.
Right. She may be dissatisfied with the rest of her life because of like a year where she thought she was, going to be popular the rest of her life. Yeah, and so I liked that it was like both like a superhero kind of thing and also just an illustration of how kind of the Hollywood machine can churn you and spit you out. You know what I mean? Like, you're there because you made money, not because anyone likes you or they're your friend or you know what I mean? You're there because you're profitable, and as soon as you aren't, you're done. And so I liked it. You know, I'm trying to remember where it came. I don't feel like it came like after a moment where I'm like, oh, I've got to see what happens in the plot next. So I feel like it came at a good point in the season. Didn't do a penultimate episode type shit with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the episode.
One thing I thought was very fun, which I didn't expect, because the trailers don't really hint at this at the beginning, is that Trevor is he's playing Simon, right, to basically garner his freedom with the DoD, the Department of, maybe it's the Defense, it's the
Department of Damage Control. It's
a
new one.
DoD.
Yeah.
Whoops, I'm thinking real life. Yeah,
DODC.
so yes, so they're also, I believe they were in Spider-Man No Way Home. The same guy, they were interrogating Ned and MJ.
Thunderbolts. Is that not what the lady is a part of?
Valentina.
I thought that's where she was like officially a part of when she's like in Thunderbolts. She's like representing them, but I could be wrong.
Maybe I know that. Maybe I do know that they're obviously in Spider-Man. I think they're going to play a bigger role in the new Spider-Man movie, which also makes sense because again, Daniel is doing both. Not you, but the other Daniel. And
I'm making Spider-Man.
You didn't know that you're not making Spider-Man. I thought that was very fun off the bat because it gives real. I mean, because there was always this thing of like, oh, so. Simon, or not Simon, but Trevor Slattery gets to just walk free now after Shang-Chi. Well, even though he did these pretty horrible things. Like, he seems like a complicit idiot in Iron Man 3, but also it's very much implied that he absolutely knew kind of what was happening. He just kind of like just pretended it wasn't, but kind of also knew. So,
well, I think they did a fantastic job of addressing that. And I think they
in a fun way, too. Yeah.
Well, they did a really good job of kind of framing that. Like, he was the Mandarin, but he's also just like every other, like so many washed up former actors that when they were popular, they were so high. I mean, he could, he's the alternate version of Robert Downey Jr. that never gets his career back, right?
Yeah.
And so I think I liked the way they handled it. I liked the way they flashed back to some of it to really emphasize that, like, you were willingly in your ignorant. You were complicit in your ignorance, right?
Yes,
and how you chose to do it. And so I think that was that really motivated strongly just kind of his running from his past. Like, it wasn't just about he lost these roles or he wasn't as a successful actor, as that like he kind of committed some atrocities, you know what I mean, for a paycheck and drugs. And so I think they did a good job of just making him react to both of those things. Like, it felt like it was a believable performance because of how they intertwined those things of like washed up actor and you did these things. And so, yeah, I mean, he kind of comes off as insecure and always, in an actor way of like always trying to present stronger than he is or better than he is or paint the past differently than it actually was.
Yeah. And at the same time projects like this sage wisdom to Simon. And like it seems like tactics. Yeah,
like
I
think they did a good job. And I think we in psychology, this is a very known phenomenon. But oftentimes, you can sit someone down and show them someone else's life and be like, okay, what should they do? And like, oh, obviously they should do this. Yeah, but then they can look at their own life in the same situation. They're like, I don't know what to do. And so I think it even felt realistic that it's like, yeah, this guy isn't successful, but he probably learned a lot from all the ways he wasn't successful. You know what I mean? And so I think, like I said, I just think they handled those characters. I mean, those characters are why this show worked, right? The plot, I don't care who Wonder Man is. I don't have any association with who Wonder Man is. The family stuff was good, but like it wasn't like, it didn't carry it necessarily. I liked the stuff with the brother though. But the characters,
it was good until the end was a little odd, I thought, where he was kind of like, I'm really proud of you. And it was just like, it felt like a shift. I felt
like they should have done more to kind of, there should have been more of a reaction to it.
Or, I felt like the implication was, I've been so hard on you because I want to be proud of you, but it's like, I feel like you were beyond.
Come through in the beginning.
You were beyond hard on him, and now it's like you're switching to that kind of. Yeah, I felt maybe there was a scene or something cut. I don't know, but
and they probably should have addressed like he broke his mom's kitchen too again or something.
It kind of also feels like that was probably normal business for them too, you know?
Yeah. So I agree. That felt a little underbaked by the end, undercooked a little bit. But again, the reason this show worked is Trevor Slattery and Simon, and just their back and forth, them working on audition tapes, them, Simon, I think one thing that works about his character, he is such a presents outwardly such a leading man energy.
Just because, he's a beautiful
giant
specimen.
And he just has he just kind of commands the room when he's in a scene, right?
Yeah.
But the way they made him so almost unlikably insecure,
he's pretty insecure.
Was brilliant. Brilliant. It really made him feel like, okay, I'm not just watching another show with a model that they casted as a role because of their hotness. You know what I mean? It felt believable. I don't know. I think that was really well done. They really gave him an unlikable.
I agree.
He really thinks he knows better than everybody kind of thing. In a really you're like, God, I would hate to work with that actor kind of way.
Yeah. I forgot the opening scene where he's doing this vampire show.
Fired, yeah,
he gets
no, that's American Horror Story. That's
you're right.
On American Horror Story.
But that's also brilliant. Where it's those writers writing that, they clearly had some experience, or or the filmmakers did, where it's I think my character would be left-handed and not right-handed, that kind of shit, which
it's like these people are doing a job, probably no one on this job grew up wanting to make this show. This is a gig, and then you got this actor coming in that wants to make it his moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that would just okay, we're gonna lose a day of work for this guy. You'd be the least popular guy on set. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and it felt very real too. They were we're just going to cut this entire scene.
We got it all. You're done. We actually wrapped early. You know what I mean? You don't actually get told you're being fired. You just get all right, you're done for the day, and then you'll get the email later.
Yeah. But I do want to kind of go back for a second. This will tie into the ending here. First of all the stuff with Korvac, I'm remembering the shows we're talking about it. I loved all that. I liked them going through his house and him getting the role. That's the same guy he was the quote unquote Israeli leader, in Superman, right?
Oh yeah, no, the director. Yes.
He was Korvac in the show.
I feel like he's everywhere all of a sudden.
I've only seen him in those two things. What else has he been in? I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like I've seen him recently.
Okay, so Superman. Yeah. Okay, well,
no, it's like a TV show or something. I feel like I've this guy I saw him first in Superman, and now I'm he's everywhere all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that tying into the end here, I will kind of give the brother thing a pass.
Sure.
Because I think the end is supposed to feel like a fantasy, where it's Simon's getting everything he wanted, and I think, and I will give it somewhat a pass where maybe it's even interpretation, maybe, and people do also, family members, friends, people you don't even know, do have a tendency to, once you do get money or fame or on a certain trajectory, their attitude changes, right?
Sure.
Pretty quickly.
100%.
But I still obviously see the problems. I brought it up, but my point is, at the end here, when it is fantasy, and you're seeing Joe Pantaleone as that, and we had this great kind of thing with Trevor's arc of him embracing the thing that he's really he ran into and trying to run away from in the way of the Mandarin, and really sacrificing himself for Simon. I think all that was great. I loved him on the Mandarin thing, and of course, I was going to ask you. I didn't at first, probably the first 10 minutes or first 5-6 minutes, know where this was going with the actor thing, but when the reveal is that he is basically working with a security guard to break in, I thought it was great. I thought a great way to do an episode that, what's interesting too is this show doesn't have a big fight in it, really. There's a few maybe bigger climaxy sci-fi stuff in it.
Well, the antagonist is the CDC, the damage control guy, but he's more of just a force. He's not really the he doesn't feel like a true antagonist in some ways.
And so anyway, saying all that to say is, I really like this ending here, where Simon is realizing that he's getting everything he wants, and it's it's just not, either something doesn't sit right with him because someone else had to make a sacrifice in his name and he felt it was like morally incorrect, and or it just not all it's cracked out to be. There's a version, and I want to tell you what my theories are for season 2. But how did you feel about the end first?
I loved it. No, I mean, I think I liked the slow burn of how he got into it. There's a lot of the show that really did feel like it paints like a realistic picture of what being an actor is like too. You know what I mean? And like, even that felt like, oh yeah, like this feels kind of realistic. This feels like what a lot of actors probably do. When they're doing these kind of character roles. And I loved it. I loved the kind of just like, you're my best friend, I'm not going to leave you in here, let's go be buddies kind of energy, like what are we going to get into next? I don't know exactly where that goes. Like, I'm just like, what are they going to be up to? Are they going to like go to another part of the world and try to act, or like, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah.
Does he become an actor? Does he still try to be an actor in Hollywood, but then he's also like housing Trevor Slattery secretly? Or, I mean, because the world doesn't know that he did this, but and can they blackmail him into being a superhero, or that we're going to put you in prison? I mean, there's all kinds of little things you could go with that, and
and I think it also just that part is the least. It's not like because I feel like that connects to kind of the overall plot of what's happened, or what's supposed to be, or going to happen with the MCU, and just how the world is going to be treating superheroes changing.
Definitely the mutant aspect, I assume, right?
Yeah, and so I think I'm not quite committed to knowing if I should be excited about that part of their journey yet, because I'm like, okay, I don't want them to get sucked into a boring, massive overall plot. But at the same time, I could see them being a really fun element to a team-up movie. Those two kind of doing things together.
Trevor was like one of the funner parts of Shang-Chi. He was.
Well, and it's like, okay, you guys got to go infiltrate something, and so they do this like buddy acting.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
like, okay, you do this. Like they kind of have this like back and forth where they're like, you be this guy, I'll be this guy. We'll do this scene from this movie, and they do it. I mean, I will say one of the funniest.
I would love
parts,
it even if Simon and like basically play characters that they shouldn't be playing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be hilarious.
One of my favorite parts though was in the Von Kovac. I love that episode where they're at his house the whole time.
Yeah.
But then when he just starts doing Pretty Woman in the middle, like that was brilliant. That was such a beautiful, like, for one, it was like one of those moments you're like, I know this script. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But you're like, first you're like, oh, he's doing a good job. Wait a minute. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like I could absolutely see them using that kind of stuff, right? Like, okay, we got to get inside this government building. Okay, let's do Harry Met Sally. I'll be Sally. Like here's Trevor's. You know what I mean? Like, again, one of my favorite parts at the end was when he pulls Trevor close and he does this kind of like damsel in distress. Like,
oh yeah, it looks really. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, it's good.
Great.
It's really good.
And so like their energy's great. I think I would like them to keep that kind of buddy. We're theater buddies. We're weird and dramatic wherever they go. I kind of want to see them together all the time. I just think they bounce off each other well. But I'm hopeful we get to either get a season 2 or they play a significant role in something going forward.
And because the episodes were so short, like a regular sitcom speed, I wasn't upset that it was much better because of the fact that they dropped them all at once, right? Versus getting 20 minutes.
For this show was not crazy. I mean, you just shoot on the sets we actually shoot on. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the reasons Hollywood also loves to make shows about Hollywood. Production budget's really cheap. You just shoot in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, you just... And so, I feel like that also gives me hope maybe they can get another one out without waiting 3 years or something.
Yeah, there was rumblings. There's been rumblings last week that they're going to possibly announce a season 2 relatively soon. The downside of all this kind of stuff is this was kind of shot a while ago. This has been on the back burner, and they've been waiting for the response to make a season 2 versus where they've done it now with Daredevil. They're going to be in production on season 3 before 2 comes out. Yeah. Which is how it should be with television. If you want to kind of maintain your base and which like example, I'm watching the revival of Scrubs right now, which I just love Scrubs, and I'm loving this revival. It's great.
Awesome.
It's like just like the show just never stopped. It's like, oh, this is so good.
That's great.
And there's only 9 episodes, and they're true 21-minute I mean, it's literally like the show never ended.
Yeah.
And it's got ad breaks. It's got everything, like places for ad breaks, all that stuff. And
It's a streaming show?
It's on. Yeah, it premieres on ABC, and the next day it comes on. It actually comes on Hulu, but it's only 9 episodes, and so it's like,
Yeah.
It's like, man, why are we doing
a lot
these?
of minutes?
It's not. Why are we doing this? I mean, I guess it's just budgets or something. But whereas The Pit, we waited less than a year for season 2, and it's 15 episodes, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just,
mean, it's got to be budget. I mean, I bet probably a lot of those actors charge more these days than they used to. Kind of thing. Or
I don't, people are not knocking down for Zach Braff a whole lot, but I get it. Okay,
it's funny because the two guys from Scrubs were like on a commercial series.
They've been
for a while
for the phone commercial, or whatever. Or
yeah,
the
and
internet
I do
commercial.
feel like, and maybe this has always been this way. It's just finally happening to our generation, so I'm noticing it more. But it's like, man, everyone that was in a sitcom 20 years ago is just in a commercial now. Like the Office cast are just commercial. They just play themselves in commercials now. Like that's all they do.
Yeah, or they played their a version of their character in a commercial where they won't get sued. Like they're like the guy carrying the chili in a. I saw that
guy.
recently.
Yeah. Like I was seeing ads that were like Kevin's back on Sunday. Like they were giving me an ad for an ad. Be sure to watch the Super Bowl so you can watch Kevin from The Office. And I'm like, guys, I didn't love Kevin from The Office that much. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe some people did, but
I mean, it's truly just, unfortunately, some of these actors they weren't like Steve Carell, right? Or John Krasinski, where they just broke through and got tons of roles.
Well, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to hate on them for getting a paycheck where they can get a paycheck in Hollywood. It's just more of the just like
the noticing of it.
They turn into just props for products,
Sure.
And that, as a creator, if I made characters that turn into that, wouldn't feel the best. You know what I mean? Like
I think there might be a sense of satisfaction for your work piercing the zeitgeist in a way where that happens.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like I'm more Bill Watterson. Bill Watterson, like, famously never let Calvin and Hobbes be ever monetized. Like, if you ever see Calvin peeing on a truck kind of thing, that's not official art. That was unofficially made. Like, he never gave away, right?
Yeah.
Like, versus, like, Peanuts or, like, Garfield, which is completely turned into an IP for products.
I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me, it's like, I don't want someone, let's say I make Spider-Man, and it's like, I don't want someone doing their own Spider-Man.
Right.
But at the same time, there's something it's so rare and magical that I think I kind of want a Spider-Man where, like I read 2 different Spider-Man stories last night by 2 different writers, and I played a Spider-Man game as we were texting last night. I was watching Jenner finish it. 3 different writers, same character, and I get so much. I just get different flavors of ice cream, and obviously some are worse than others, but it pierces the zeitgeist. But I understand both. I think it matters more. I think when people collect a paycheck for long enough, that it's like, I don't really care what you do with it anymore.
And I think Spider-Man's different in that, like, Spider-Man will have stories told and retold till the end of time. It's like there's always something else to do with the character. Let's be creative with it.
That's because
but like versus like, let's reduce these Office characters to the most thin version of who they were and then sell a product. That feels a little different to me.
No, it is. I wasn't really relating anymore to The Office. I was relating now to IP. Office is obvious. That's totally different because Kevin only has so many stories we can realistically tell Kevin. I can't do like I can't. It's not like Ernest. Kevin's in the army. Kevin's goes to camp.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree. I would love to create a character that inspires people to keep writing stories for the rest of time. Like that.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think we're just talking about 2 different things. But anyway, I'm excited for Wonder Man. Hopefully get season 2. If not, maybe we'll see them appear in something else in the future that honors what they gave us in season 1.
Surely.
I think it's low hanging fruit for them at the moment. Where it could, if they just kind of kept going, the quality was there, then they could have a reoccurring show that's not hard to produce, probably, and build up something people genuinely like. So I'm hoping they hope they watch this podcast and do that. We don't have much time, and we can save the Xbox stuff when we talk about that before the show later. But I want to ask about the Green Lantern thing, and I'll give you my hot take. Obviously, I can, for our listeners, the Lanterns HBO trailer just dropped. It's obviously getting a lot of buzz, across the comic book community, and it's obviously people who enjoy TV shows as well are chiming in. I think one thing is there's a lot of vitriol right now about the suit and the lack of Green Lantern, like aspects of sci-fi, high sci-fi cosmos stuff, powers, all these things. I think it's interesting because as someone who is he's my top 3 favorite all time, as a huge Green Lantern fan, I've been prepped for over 2 years now, 2.5 years, for what this show is going to be. When they told, and it's exactly what they said it was going to be. To me, it looks like a really grounded take on Green Lantern that's very much inspired. Even the music they chose in the trailer seemed like a riff off the opening credits music for True Detective in a lot of ways. And yeah, I mean, if you're a GL fan like me and you're wanting Hal Jordan in his suit fighting people at a young age, all these things, you should have been disappointed 2.5 years ago. In the people who are bitching about it now, it's like I don't know why they're doing it other than just obviously to bitch, because we already knew this. Is it what I would have done? No. There's a lot of things, that just watching the trailer alone, I'm disappointed by from a old school comic book perspective. But I'm trying really hard to put all that aside and look at the show and be like, look, it looks like it's really well shot. It looks like it's really well acted. It looks like a prestigious HBO show. They've said that they're just doing this and they're going to ramp up to the cosmic stuff. I don't know what that means, if that's even true or not. But I'm willing to give them a chance because I trust HBO. I don't 100%, even though, I've said multiple times in James Gunn we trust. I don't 100% trust him. He's obviously done... Everything he's done has had issues on some level, but I've always been entertained by them. As we just talked about Superman earlier, right? Where Superman it's probably the most fun superhero thing we had last year, even though it's got more problems on a filmmaking level than all the other projects probably. And so anyway, I'm excited to watch it. I'm also a shill for anything superhero related, but I want to for someone like you who is not probably well versed in Green Lantern, what's your opinion on it so far?
Yeah, I liked it. The teaser looked good. I think I echo all of your sentiments in terms of it looks well shot and well acted. I guess I didn't know what to expect from the dynamic in terms of the two characters. So setting up this kind of antagonistic dynamic was just not what I was necessarily expecting. It's interesting.
From it.
Yeah. And even is he a Southern guy in the comics? Is he from the South?
Nope. Also
okay, so the Southern accent even was a little bit I just wasn't expecting that.
Me neither.
I think it's one of the things I wasn't expecting it, but it's an interesting take on it. It is, okay, there'll be some interesting moments out of this. We got the True Detective vibes from it. I'm going to be watching day one, and I'm very excited for it, or just I'm excited to see how it does or what it is. I will say I'm a little bit okay, I got the hints of True Detective in terms of the visuals and the music, but I didn't really get any sense of what the mystery is
at all.
That's going to be to determine if it works or not. What is the central plot? Is it interesting at all? How does it tie into these characters? How is that stuff written, and what is it doing? It does make me think that there is more cosmic stuff probably going on.
I mean, there are absolutely aliens involved. I mean,
right, and so they're just not showing any of that to us yet on purpose. Yep.
Because why would Hal Jordan be involved? People got to realize he's not like the Green Lantern of Earth. He's the Green Lantern of Sector 2814, meaning tons of galaxies. You know what I'm saying? He's the cop of a lot of places. So
right, and so so I think, like I said, I think it's giving me the outward signs of a True Detective like thing. I don't have anything to gauge. It's but does it have the guts? Does it have the meat? as well as the
is
appetizers.
the mystery actually engaging?
Yes,
it seems
yes,
it seems like their relationship will be very fun. Just like
Yes.
it feels like a lot of shows or even movies do this, like Thunderbolts or whatever, where the relationships, the banter is really great, spot on, but the plot it's just not there in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And this could very much be that too. I'm very curious, and also there's just a lot of even just mysteries that they've asked upon the universe and James Gunn and all them, because it's like, what do you mean you're the only human Green Lantern?
Right.
We know Guy Gardner's going to be in this show. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Fillion's in this show, and so is he the one that dies? And then does he kick off the death? Does he die? And then
Is
Hal
he like
Jordan,
the victim? That would be
is he
interesting.
the victim? And then I don't know. So anyway, there's a lot of little things too.
I hope not, just because I want Nathan Fillion still to show up and stuff, and he's a nice comic relief character.
How'd you feel about the suit? I gotta ask you, how they put the suit?
I don't have a lot of
It's brown.
we saw it in a dusty brown closet. I don't even really feel like that's probably what it looks like when it's on somebody in like proper lighting. It probably just that. And to me, I'm also like, is that going to be like the old suit they don't even wear, because it's like, here's what I wore back in my days, and now I have this new one. I would not be surprised if like one of John's perks is he can make a suit with the ring and Hal can't, and that's like whatever or something like that. Like I'm not looking at that as like, oh, that's what he's gonna look like at the end. Just like,
in that shot before, it's like a blink and miss it moment, but those other, they're like bags. Those are other. There's a Green Lantern symbol on those bags. It's like there's other suits in those bags.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Most people have not.
I didn't even realize
most
that.
People, most haven't even picked up on that. But
so I'm just like, I'm not offended by it either way. I don't expect that to be what it looks like, or I don't even know if anyone's going to wear that one specifically.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory, but I think my theory could be Donovan's trying to make it better, and it won't be
Sure.
this. Sure. So again, I mentioned this in the text, and I'll give you this, and we'll get off here and give our before we go real quick. But one of the most famous things that happened to Hal Jordan in the 80s, 90s, in the comics, in the real world, the Green Lantern stuff was just kind of not selling as well, and they wanted to reinvigorate it for a new generation of readers, and so they started making Hal Jordan's hair gray and all these kind of things, and started kind of giving him some problem issues.
Yeah.
And then in the show, or in the comic, Central City gets bombed or destroyed by, I think, one of the Supermen that comes from the Reign of Superman arc from Death of Superman. And so from that, Hal Jordan basically goes on this rampage and kills the entire Green Lantern Corps. And he snaps Sinestro's neck. He kills everybody. He kills Kilowog, like his best friend in the Corps. He kills everybody. And he becomes a villain known as Parallax. And then Kyle Rayner is the next Green Lantern, which you've probably seen him at some point visually, whatever. And he becomes the new Green Lantern, of the only Green Lantern really in the universe. Mm-mm. And it turns out though that Hal Jordan this is where the genius of Jeff Johns comes in, one of the greatest writers of all time. He come back into an arc called Green Lantern Rebirth. And basically it explains that Hal was infected by Parallax, which then gives credence to, there's other colors out there besides green, yellow being the color of fear. And that's what infected.
Is Sinestro not a Yellow Lantern? I thought that was.
He wasn't until Jeff Johns came in and made this up.
Okay.
He had his own ring, but he was never a Yellow Lantern.
He was a Green Lantern that was just bad?
Yeah, in the comics, he was Hal's teacher. Sinestro was Hal's mentor.
Okay.
And then Sinestro basically was being a dictator on his own planet. Hal found out, and Hal basically had him arrested. And Sinestro got his own ring. And he was just like a bad guy with a ring, and then later, Jeff Johns comes in. Turns out Parallax was infected Hal Jordan, and he's like the entity of fear. And then the Sinestro Corps is birthed from this, and so then you start having but then it cascades into you have the emotional spectrum, which is like really what Green Lantern. That's the fun part. You have the Red Lanterns who are rage. You have the blue or hope, and how they all help each other and contribute, and how that leads to Blackest Night and all this. So it was really that's the genesis of all that. So to me, if you look at his suit, it kind of feels like it's fading. Like and even between John Stewart, he's kind of like, you're old, you're tired, all these things. It feels like Hal's his willpower is fainting as well, and so I wonder if he's being and I don't suspect that Kyle Chandler is going to survive this season of television, and I think he may be the secret evil antagonist, and maybe he doesn't even know it himself, and I can see him being controlled by Parallax and dying. And then that being released and starting this emotional spectrum. And even if you look at the ring, there's like it looks more like a design choice, but it's yellow on the outside. Like it's yellow. And you're like, what? It's either these guys just absolutely did not read Green Lantern comics, or they did, and it's just hiding in plain sight. So
probably more likely, yeah.
More likely. They have Tom King on there, who I'm not a huge fan of Tom King. Everyone else seems to like him for some reason. But he's a big comic book guy. And so he does know the lore. Whether he follows it or not is another thing entirely. So anyway, there's hints there. So I kind of caution fans. I'm like, it feels like they're, and again, it's not what I would have done. I don't want to see Hal at his lowest. I want to see Hal at his best. It's like the Luke Skywalker shit, it's like I don't want to see decrepit old man Luke Skywalker grumpy and throwing lightsabers away. I want to see Luke Skywalker in the hallway saving baby Grogu from Death Troopers, so same thing here. It's just unfortunate, but there's some good stuff here. Regardless, Aaron Pierre, he's just magnetic on camera. It seems like he's playing the same character as he did in Rebel Ridge in a lot of ways.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think no matter what, he's going to be a great Green Lantern, and it'll be fun watching him part of the League. It's just sad that, again, it's like having a Batman TV show, and then Batman's not even in the show,
Sure.
So for a Green Lantern fan anyway. Like, no one.
Like a Penguin show?
No, like a Batman show.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, that show's called Penguin.
I'm fucking with you.
And so that makes sense in some way.
But it's technically a Batman show.
But it's even my version is more egregious. Yeah, I know you are, but
it's called Batman, and he's not in it. Yeah.
The only reason John Stewart is the forefront is because of that Justice League TV show.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like nobody in the comic community. He's not even. He might be number 3 out of the 6 Green Lanterns that are human.
I get it. I mean, I'm wondering with the data, I would assume much more people watched that than read Green Lantern comics. Maybe just at a data point. And so I wonder if that's part of it. Like, okay, we have way more of a built-in audience if we make it John Stewart, because
maybe
millions and millions and millions of kids watched this growing up versus comic books weren't quite as ubiquitous at the time.
Yeah. He's the most boring character in the Green Lantern comics, for sure.
Just kind of the most, like, goody two-shoes, like, always interesting.
He's just a soldier that doesn't really that doesn't change at all. And so, and I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, the main interesting thing they do with him in the comics is just, like, the love triangle. Or not the comics, the TV show. He's just got that love triangle thing going on with Hot Girl or whatever. But he's got
some cool moments in the comic books, but it's just,
Yeah, everybody's got cool moments in the comic books. So
that's true. He's got a really cool one. He does. When I think about it, but anyway, I'm just curious what they're going to do. It feels like they're. Sure. I mean, it's hard doing a grounded Green Lantern show. That's a hard pitch, like on its surface. And so, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Hey, no matter what, there's a good chance I will own the hot toy of the brown Hal Jordan. So.
I would expect so.
Regardless of how I feel about the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the very least, it's going to be better than the Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know.
I mean, I think
that movie's not as bad as people think it is. That movie is it's at war with itself. It's got 2 different tones, and it's like it's got the Earth shit and then the cosmic shit, and then Parallax is awful in that movie, and so is Hector Hammond's awful in that movie. But Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds did a pretty good Hal Jordan in that. Sure. And he also had a screen fucking suit and made constructs. Sure. It's like having a Batman. It's like having a Spider-Man show. And we're trying to do it properly for the first time, and he doesn't shoot webs or stick to walls or wear his costume. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it literally just sounds like the kind of shows they make, like Gotham. Like those kind of shows where it's like, we got to be low budget because we can't get this character on screen in a very believable way. I hear you. I am too. I'm
still
okay
more
with the
excited
slow
for
burn.
it than you are. I know I am.
Probably are. Yeah. I'm as someone that's not well versed in the cosmic lore of the Green Lanterns, I'm probably more okay with a slow burn ramping us up into that stuff.
If we get there, I'm cool. I don't want them to be too. It's even weird that they don't he can't communicate with the, his ring's in the comics, his ring's a translator, so he can communicate to aliens. And it's like, so you're telling me in James Gunn's DC universe, Hal Jordan and Kilowog are not best friends? Like they've never went on missions together, and he's like 60.
Did they say that?
He said they can't communicate. He's like, oh, they don't speak English. And I don't know if they're saying they don't speak English. And it's like, what? You don't communicate to any of your Green Lanterns in 60 years? Anyway, the little shit like that, you're just like, it's just, again, it's the Superman costume first reveal. It's like, it's easily unavoidable. Where they made a joke. They want to make a joke about, it's a squirrel talking. It's like, said the word fuck. But it's really just like, but the ramifications of that line are pretty big,
Yeah, it's hard for me because, everything makes its own rules when you translate it. So, and I do see as a creative, if I was given the Green Lantern, I'd be like, wow, the ring is literally just a plot MacGuffin. It does whatever the plot needs it to do at any point kind of thing. And so maybe it would be more interesting to put some limitations on it versus it just being the everything button. Right. And so I'm not that part to me. I'm like, okay, well, I would understand if they wanted to put some guardrails on the lore here to try to have a more contained thing, or just, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly.
I hear you.
I'm sure not every part of the Green Lantern lore would translate perftly to live action.
But like I said with the suit and the reveal, these are easy layups. It doesn't. I don't think change the. I haven't seen the show. But it doesn't change the plot of their show. To know that Hal Jordan has went on missions in the past with Kilowog, his best friend Green Lantern.
We don't know that hasn't happened. He could be lying. He could be hiding the true powers of the ring from John at first. That could be part of his turn.
You're
evil,
correct.
You know what I mean?
But that's an optimistic take on this.
I guess I don't. Watching that, I don't know. I don't have any. I could.
Well, it doesn't. It's not a big deal to you because you don't care about. You don't care about the comics, which is fine.
What I'm saying is, I don't know. To me, it feels like Hal Jordan is hiding something from that teaser. Like he's not being.
Of course he is. Again, I think he's the bad guy. I think he's the bad guy in this show.
Yeah, and so to me, I'm almost like, we have to take everything he says in that trailer with the idea of he could be.
There's an argument that
he
absolutely can communicate, but he doesn't want John Stewart to reach out to them because they'll find out he's the bad guy. You're 100% correct.
Or that they're all dead or something.
He
killed
them all.
Whatever.
God damn. I swear to God, if they do this and they don't bring him, it makes me so fucking mad if they're going to do that to Hal Jordan.
If they do this, they will at least give him a moment in a Justice League movie as a redemption. They're probably not going to give him a whole TV show to redeem himself or a movie. But.
No Hal Jordan fan wants that unless you get.
But how many Hal Jordan fans are there?
That's all there is in the comic book community. That's all there is.
In the comic book community. Yes.
We're not that small, and I think we do matter. If you're making you're adapting things, that's the process. Again, here's the problem, Daniel, and you know this. We can adapt things. They don't need to be 1-to-1. They should not be 1-to-1. But we can adapt things, and make the comic people happy and the general audience happy. We can do that. We did that with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy. Name your pick on the Marvel side, and it's like it feels a little edgelordy. Hey, when you say True Detective meets Green Lantern. My PP gets hard, dude. Automatic. Sure. But it's also like, that doesn't mean they have to stomp on the things that make it Green Lantern in the first place. You should just called it True Detective Season 5. And so there's no point from a people who've watched their whole lives, waited for their whole lives to see something like this for the comic book perspective. Because again, why even call it lanterns? If I mean, it's just, anyway, it doesn't matter. They're smart, at least on the first trailer, to market it to general audiences who like, oh, this is a well-made HBO show.
Yeah,
I suspect they're holding a lot back. At least I'm just hoping they are. But no matter what, they've already fucked Hal Jordan. So, which is like the equivalent to me of like fucking Peter Parker or Bruce Wayne. So, it is what it is. Anyway, before we go, I'd like to highlight one last thing that may or may not be movie or TV related. Daniel.
Okay, yeah. My highlight is another oldie. I know I highlighted Mass Effect last time. We're highlighting another old, more than 10-year-old video game, in The Witcher 3. They did a next-gen update like in 2021 or 2022, I think. I never checked in with it, you know what I mean? But let me tell you, 60 FPS Witcher 3 is night and day.
I played the first 5 minutes of it. Yeah. The 60 FPS version, yeah.
It feels like I hated the combat before. Like it felt not unprecise. I never felt cool or badass. Like I always felt like I was just like it felt like clumsy Arkham combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In 60 FPS, I feel like I'm like doing sword kung fu. Like I feel like I'm like, this is amazing. Like it's like one of the first times where like an update, like a frame rate update feels like it completely changed how the game feels. You know what I mean?
To me, that was Jedi Fallen Order did that for me.
Sure. Yeah. And so, I've played lots of games where they update and they're better, but it wasn't like, oh, that was a different game before that. This feels like, oh, I'm playing a different game now. And like, I've been really just like enjoying digging into the lore and just like kind of taking it a little more slow, exploring things. I've picked up with the character I made like in 2017 that's kind of late game, just because there was always those DLC. I never got to any of the DLC that's like famously hailed as some of the best DLC that's ever been made for games, and so I'm kind of dipping into that. But I fully expect I'll probably get to a point where I stop and like I go back and like restart the game and try to like do everything, because I know this is definitely a game where if you like do a certain main quest, it'll fail some side quests if you haven't done them yet, kind of stuff. And so I'm like kind of just, it's like one of the first times I feel like I'm like really sinking my teeth into not just like playing an RPG, but like the Witcher world and the lore. It's very rich. It's very dark fantasy. You know what I mean? And that's always a plus for me. And so, I've just, it was kind of a surprise. It was kind of like, okay, I'm winding down my Mass Effect playthrough. What do I do next? Like, what's my next? I really enjoy just having like a go-to, oh, this is the game I'm playing right now, or this is the show I'm watching, or this is the book I'm reading. Just that when I have moments of freedom, I have a place just to go check out and chill for a little bit or put my mind in a different place. And so that's been mine for like a week now. And yeah, I'm like, damn, this is great. This is like really fun. I'm just like, this map is ginormous. There's so many quests. There's so many monsters. There's so many fun little side stories. So it almost feels like playing it. For the first time. I feel like this is just for the first time. And then a little bit of just like, oh, I'm starting to like the people that used to rave about this game. I was always like, yeah. But now I'm like, okay. I understand now. And probably all those people were on PC and playing in 60 and 120 FPS from the beginning. But like it's just like the beauty, like it definitely has, like you can tell it's not a immediately recent game, just in terms of like the textures, like the skin textures aren't as detailed as they are now. But like it looks gorgeous, and the art style is really like it feels more saturated than you get with a lot of high fantasy worlds. So I'm really developing my taste for it. I even last night after I played, I started there's 2 Witcher anime movies on Netflix. Yeah. One is about Vesemir, who's like Geralt's teacher, and then the other one is just a Geralt story with the voice actor from the game. Oh. And it's interesting because it's got him, but then it's got voice actors from the TV show playing like Dandelion and Yennefer. So it's kind of like it's a weird mashup. But so anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying the Witcher world and kind of getting better to know it. And it's actually good timing. I don't know if you've seen the rumors, but there is almost pretty much unofficially confirmed that they're making a new DLC for The Witcher 3 as a part of the lead up to the next Witcher game.
I didn't know that part. I mean, I expected a bigger reveal this year of 4. I know they had like a technically a true announcement last year.
Right, and it looked amazing.
They're around the corner. I mean, we're going to get it relatively soon.
So the big rumor is it's a DLC added to Witcher 3 to kind of help set up more of the story for the next one, which I think is brilliant.
That'd be pretty big.
This is one of the this game was sold it sold 50 million copies or something. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and so you've got this install base. Like everyone has The Witcher probably 2 or 3 times on different devices at this point. Why don't we release something new for it? That everyone already has the thing.
They could probably cover half the development cost for 4 if they release DLC for 3.
See that becoming, especially for these giant RPGs that only come out once like every 8 years, that becoming a norm. Like I wouldn't be surprised now if there's a new Cyberpunk DLC right before the next Cyberpunk comes out. You know what I mean? Like it makes complete sense. Like everyone's already going to be foaming at the mouth for the next Witcher thing. They'll take anything you give them. So why not give them a $20 add-on for a game everyone already has? You just made an extra chunk change, and now everyone's even more hyped for the next one. Like it's brilliant. It's like, why has no one been doing this kind of thing?
Yeah. It's like releasing short films that like tie into the next movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like the DVD. Yeah, it's like the DVD features from. With what's his name on it, that you're like, Thor. And now you're better prepared for the next one because you're a super fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I agree. That's a good idea. Yep.
What's your one more thing?
Well, it's actually a game. It's a game. Actually, it's you'll know it. It's Resident Evil 9, and I mean it is. The only downside of those kind of games is that when they come out and you beat them, you're just like, God damn it, I gotta wait another year or two. The good thing is Capcom is just like the most consistent company in terms of pumping stuff out, especially as of late. So,
will there be another remake this year, or is it like every 1 year's a remake, the next one's like the next number?
Well, we're all pretty convinced next year is Code Veronica remake, and then we'll probably
are they gonna remake 5 and 6?
I think after
so bad.
I think after 5's not bad. I think after it's different. It's not bad. After Code Veronica, I think 5 will be next. I could see next year. I could say 2027 Code Veronica, 2028 5, and then 2029 Resident Evil 10. Sure. That's my guess. And so 5. I mean 5 was I think before at the time when 5 came out, and I don't think 6 even did this, but 5 was. Maybe 6 did. It was the highest selling Resident Evil game of all time. It was huge. But people obviously had problems with it. It's mainly because when you shoot, you stop. You can't move. Like unlike 4, I think maybe you could in the original 4. 4's had so many versions I can't even tell you. But anyway, what's cool about 9, I'll tell you real quick, is in 7, which was arguably my favorite, just because I love the setting so much. Because of 7. They went to first person mode. And then when 8 came out, it was also first person mode, but they had an update last year where it's also in third person mode.
You can switch between them.
You can just play either version, and which is kind of a big update. It's like a different game. You're playing third person all of a sudden. And so it's a big deal. And so they kind of toyed with the DLC for 8 was also third person. And so in 9, what they do is you can, from the get-go, you can pick, there's 2 different storylines, there's Claire and Leon, and they're intersecting at different points. Right. And you can, at the beginning, pick, you want them both first person, both third person, or you just do it like, I did it how the game designers like basically prefer it, which is Claire's first person and Leon's third.
Right.
And so if you do it that way, you're getting Resident Evil 7, which is like, I mean, it's first person, and it's brilliant in terms of the way things are structured and the scares and the environment. It's like next level when you play it. You're like just amazed by how they're accomplishing what they're doing. And then when you're playing Leon, it's like Resident Evil 4 where it's more action based, and you're gunned up to the 10th degree. You got one-liners. Yeah. And it feels like it shouldn't work, like bouncing between the scares, the first person, and the third person action stuff, but it does. And I feel like it's one of those things like the second half of the game is more third person, and then by the time you're into that almost in the game, you kind of forget that there was first person in the first half of the game, and you're like, and I kind of missed it. I was like, oh, I missed the first person, but then you're kind of like, but this is so damn good, also. It's like the third person's so good. But anyway, for fans of the franchise, it's got a lot of callbacks, there was some stuff that really surprised me in it, like narratively, and I was like, whoa. But I will say, when it was all said and done, and it's like a 9 out of 10. It's so good, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. But they've set the bar so high in regards to the endings of those games, that I was just like, it wasn't the highest of highs. It was good. It's a good ending. It's like that ending is as good for most media, period. But Resident Evil is typically above that. So, but I enjoyed it. I want to go. You can beat it in like 2.5 hours if you speed run it, which is crazy. And so it took me about 12 to do it. And so anyway, it's super fun. I was going to ask you real quick. Can't play horror games?
I just don't really enjoy it. I mean, I can. I mean, I've played lots of games that have horror sequences in them. I've even played like the Metro games, which are, quite a bit of just jump scare, crawling through dark tunnels while things jump out of you. Do
you like third-person games, like shooters?
Yeah.
Or, dude, you should play.
I mean, I like all of them. I mean,
you need to play Resident Evil 4, the remake.
Yeah. No, I've watched playthroughs. I'm not into like the super gross out, gory type stuff. That just isn't like. Yeah. That's like not my favorite part about The Witcher either. When you're like seeing like hags that are like crazy. I mean, like it's effective, but I'm also like, I just don't want to look at those either. So I think it's just a taste thing. I'm like, it's just, that's not my kind of horror. When I like horror, it's more psychological thriller. Real life stuff is more effective to me than like fantasy horror, and so. I think it's just like I totally understand why people love it. That's just not my cup of tea.
I never understood what a real Resident Evil game was until I played the remake of 2, and I was like, this is what everyone was experiencing 20 years ago. Because I mean, I really jumped on with 4 for the Wii, and I played 5. I beat 5, and it was really action oriented. But then when 7 came out, that was really like the thing that like, oh man, this is a new kind of game,
next
like a
level
horror game, first person. Like it blew my mind, and it's got its pacing issues, but overall it's amazing. It has the best DLC of all time in that, and it totally unrelated story, inspired a movie I've been trying to write since I never got around to yet. But Resident Evil 4, the remake, it's a perfect game. Like it's just pacing, combat, fluidity, graphics, and there's like moments in there you feel like you're just watching a movie, but you're playing a game. It's like it's next level. Anyway, so if you're interested in like playing a blockbuster action film, Resident Evil 4 is the one. It's got some scary stuff, but it's not like it's not as gory as I think. I mean, maybe it's too gory for you. I don't know, but anyway, you should play 4. It
just doesn't bother me. It's just like the gross out stuff just doesn't hit for me. I mean, it's like I don't repulse. It just doesn't. It has no draw to me either.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
I like shooting them. So anyway,
sure. Yeah.
That's it. Play Resident Evil 9. Play all the Resident Evil games, so I can get Resident Evil Code Veronica faster because we'll see the sales. And that's it. How can our listeners write into us?
Well, they can write down in the comics. They can comments. The comics
don't matter, Daniel. Don't you know that? The comics don't matter anymore.
That's actually what I've heard. Yes, can confirm. They can write in the YouTube comment section. They can send us a message on our social platforms. They can check us out on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're continually putting out more shorts, which we're excited to keep sharing with everybody. That's the main ways they can talk to us.
Please let me know how you feel about the Green Lantern trailer for HBO in the comments below.
Yes.
And debate amongst yourselves about how right I am about everything. And I would be curious, and I will respond to you if you comment about lanterns. I promise. So anyway, I'm still gonna buy the hot toy because I'm a fucking shill, but that's just me. Anyway, my name is Donavon Thompson.
I am Daniel Wingfield,
and we'll see you at your next session.
Real Therapy is brought to you by 241 Studios and viewers like you. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. for a new session with Daniel and Donovan. And remember,
they're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch